Welcome to the Take a Listing Today podcast, where our hosts Jim Studebaker and Todd Robertson give you strategies to get you out of the office right now so you can take a new listing today. And now, here's Jim and Todd.
Welcome back. Welcome. Podcast number 23 of Take a Listing Today. I'm Jim Studebaker. Todd Robertson is over there, and Lisa Gray over in the producer's corner. There she is.
A lot going on behind the curtain today.
You do have a lot going on because now we're on Facebook and we're on YouTube, and we have people calling and they're holding.
We have cameras different places.
It's a little intimidating in here actually, but we're going to have a great show for you today because we're going to talk about real estate niches that make more money. And I'll remind you that if you'd like to join us for our next live recording of our Take a Listing Today podcast, just go to our website, takealistingtoday.com, where you can sign up and ask questions of the experts or of Todd and I, whichever happens to show up that day. So, not really. We're the experts, right?
Exactly. And
right.
As we're going through this subject here today, type questions in because at the very end we're going to take your questions and we'll spend as much time as you need on this. So type them in as we're going and we will make sure that we get to 100%, okay?
Wonderful. So let's talk about those real estate niches. So statistically, most of the highest revenue generating agents get that way by focusing on a specific niche market. And honestly, there are endless niches to pursue in real estate. However, some have proven to be more financially rewarding than others. So, do you want to go try 50 of them, or would you like to know the top 3 best niches? If so, don't turn off your recorder because we're going to talk about the top 3 right now.
And here's the mindset before we get into the top 3. So think about this. When we all got into real estate, right, we had a different perception. We had to learn all these different things. Well, think about this. The light bulb will light the room a little tiny bit, true?
Right.
So that's how most people get in. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I got to do paperwork. I got to join this. I got to do that. Oh, I got to learn this. I got to go to training. The light bulb will light the room a little tiny bit. The laser will cut through steel. When you get a niche and own it and internalize it and get the best in your city, in your board of realtors, you can take over the world, let alone take over the listings.
Right. That is your focus. You're laser focused on that one thing. Yeah. And that's a great idea because now you're not scattered everywhere in 100 different places. You're laser focused. So niche number 1, new home sales. One of the top producing agents in the country, Ben Caballero, sold $2.2 billion worth of homes in 2018. He, of course, had a team, and maybe he was in, California maybe, or something where home prices are very, very high. But they were all, of the $2.2 billion worth, they were all new home construction. So that's pretty cool. So this niche is very competitive. It may take a bit of education due to additional paperwork and different contracts that you have to deal with builders, but the pursuit will be worth it. A few other details to keep in mind if you're thinking of pursuing the new home sales niche. First of all, financing can be tricky for home buyers, so just have some alternatives for them. If the buyer doesn't have an agent, you may end up helping them with the purchase process, choosing a lot, a floor plan, and more. And some builders might require their agents to have a marketing plan, including tracking and lead follow-up, and for you to develop relationships with title reps and lenders. But honestly, shouldn't you have that anyway?
Exactly.
No matter what you're doing. So yeah, hopefully you're already there. If you're curious about working as a new home sales agent, check out some online job boards like Indeed.com and Monster.com and look up new construction job listings, and that will give you some ideas of people to get a hold of.
And I want to bring up a good point off topic. We had this conversation before at our directors meeting. Share with them what your niche was, and I'll share mine, because as we're going to share 3, they might or might not have those where they are.
Right.
In other words, pick a niche. We're giving you some examples to get the wheels turning, but share with them yours because I found that fascinating.
Yeah. So when I was in real estate, I focused on VA foreclosures, which were homes that the Veterans Administration had guaranteed for veterans, and for whatever reason, they stopped paying, and so the VA takes back the house, and now they own all of these homes, which they don't want to.
Right.
So they put it up for sale, and so I focused on selling just those homes. It was a great process. The VA provided financing for buyers, so it was really good, a really good niche market for me to be in. at that time.
So you got in, you studied it, you owned it, you dominated it, you did it.
Yeah, exactly. How about you?
Yeah, and what was interesting is probably one reason you picked that because that was there at the time. That was plentiful at the time. In other words, everyone listening or watching right now, decide what's in your market. Is it one of these three? For me, it was for sale by owners. Why? Because they were there.
Right.
There were a ton of for sale by owners, so we get together, boom, boom, boom. Here's what you need to know. I absorbed it. I became it. What happened? Listing after listing. Pretty soon, boom, number one listing for sale by owners in there just because of that niche, that focus.
Nice. And it may have been the same in your area, but for me, there weren't a lot of other agents dealing with foreclosures from the VA.
Right.
Which was helpful because, I mean, it was a lot to learn, but when you're laser focused, okay, that's what I did. I learned everything there was to know about it and became a master at it.
That's a beautiful point because here's the truth. In your city that you sell real estate in, everyone thinks, oh my God, there's 3,000 agents. There's 1,500 agents. Well, once you start to prospect every day and go on appointments, you realize whether it's one of these niches or a listing in general, there really is not much competition. You might have 15 or 25 agents that are playing at that level. The others are part-time, taking a deal now and again.
And part of that's mindset.
Correct.
Who cares if there's other agents around?
Right.
I'm the best.
Right.
Right.
And if I don't get to them, they're going to list with an untrained agent. And that will cost them a lot of money. It is mindset.
And I'm going to feel bad if they list with a lesser agent than myself.
Correct.
So I'm just doing them a favor, right?
Very strong.
So, niche number 2. Are you ready for it? Any guesses out there? Niche number 2 is luxury homes. Now, when talking about profitable niche markets, luxury home sales might be a no-brainer, but you've got to know how to focus on this niche and understand how to go about it. So first of all, you need to know who the audience is that's going to be purchasing homes or selling homes in the luxury home niche. You also want to know how to effectively reach this affluent audience through the right kind of marketing, which isn't done the same way as marketing to other real estate consumers. And finally, you want to consider choosing a niche within the luxury niche. So a niche within a niche. It might be to focus on luxury home owners who share common interests with you, work in certain industries where they have specific lifestyles such as boaters or equestrians, plane owners, etc. Is there a term for plane owners? You know, horse lovers is equestrians. Do
Aviation.
We have one for plane aviators? That's a good one. Aviators. Let's do that
Right.
one. Okay, perfect. So if you would like more information on how to succeed in the luxury market, you might want to go look up our podcast with Michael LaFido. That was very good. Michael LaFido is the luxury listing specialist, and he can provide a wealth of information in that podcast if you've not listened to it already.
And I want to elaborate on one thing on this topic. It's very fascinating, the luxury home market. Here's why. You and I know one thing. So fear and lack of courage prevents agents from prospecting. Well, this topic here, a lot of agents are intimidated by the luxury market. Oh my gosh, I live in a house like this. What am I going to go do? Watch, that's mindset. It's the same process, right? It might be more high-end marketing. It might be more you dressing more high-end, driving more high-end. But guess what? You have less competition if you decide to go after this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And niche number 3. Lisa, do we have any guesses? Are people just flooding the phone lines saying, I've got a guess for the niche?
Type in your questions. Type in your questions. We will handle them all at the end.
Somebody is
Give me like
saying
the top 3.
Okay, expired. One person is guessing expired,
Okay, expired.
Is the next niche. Let me see what else we've got here. Baby boomers. Another person guessed baby boomers.
All right. That's close.
That's about halfway.
Yep. Yep.
They want a half a book.
Those
All
are
right.
guesses so far.
All right. Well, niche number 3 is dealing with a specific generation. I was waiting to see if somebody would shut out, but no. So we currently have 4 generations of Americans who are most actively involved in buying and selling. The youngest is Gen Z, the oldest of which turned 23 this year. I guess we're not in that one, are we, Tom?
No,
Okay.
all right. Even with the
We'll
anti-aging.
see. I did just miss that one. Yeah, just nearly missed it. Yes.
Right.
So these people will soon be jumping into the real estate market. So if you start to market to them now, you might have an early in to these fine Gen Z folks.
Exactly. And this topic, and we're going to cover this topic, and for you listening and watching, I want you to write down something specific because you'll see as we go through this, you're going to have to sell to each of those a little bit differently because they're going to have different needs. They're going to have different fears and wants, you know? So we want to find what is their wound? How can we help fill that or put a Band-Aid on that wound?
Exactly. So next generation, millennials, who are people aged between 24 and 42. We're nearly in that one, aren't we?
Yeah, we're pretty close.
Yep.
Yeah.
Little young.
Yep, just about there, yeah.
A little young.
Yeah, on the young side of that. So there are approximately 83 million millennials in the U.S., which is a higher number than baby boomers. Guess we're getting to that. Millennials are currently the largest group of home buyers in the U.S. at 37%. Millennials boast average credit scores, even with student debt, and the older group purchase more expensive homes. So the next generation after Gen Z and after millennials is Gen X, which is age 43 to 54. That's not.
No, it's impossible for us to be in
Right.
that category.
We're not
now.
there.
Our grandparents have all.
Right, exactly. So that's like So this is the perfect group for the savvy agent. Maybe if you're a savvy agent, you're in this Gen X, but not right.
Correct.
Okay, so in Gen X, those folks are in their peak earning years. Most are in need of larger homes and typically have a home to sell, and they have experience with real estate, so not as much hand-holding.
Yes. Now, I like that sentence right there. And here's what we're going to get if you're working that group as opposed to the millennials. This group, like you just said, they probably bought and sold a handful of homes throughout time. So they're going to be less fearful.
Right.
They're going to know the process. They're going to be okay with it. So the younger ones are going to have to sell differently too because it's going to be scary for them.
That's very true. Very true. The last of the four generations are the baby boomers, aged 55 to 73. So what if you're 80? Are you not in a group, Lisa? No? You're not categorized if you're that old. You don't need to be buying or selling houses if you're...
If you're 80, call us. We'll find you a great
All right.
agent in your city.
We'll be nursing home.
No, I'm kidding.
All right. So baby boomers, many members of this group are still working and make up the nation's highest wage earners. Since National Association of Realtors show that the average agent is a woman in her 50s. So therefore it may be an ideal niche to market to for many agents if you happen to be a woman in your 50s. And marketing is so much easier when you have something in common, which is very true.
Correct.
So, yeah. To learn more about marketing to a specific generation, how do you get into that? Well, you can go online and look at specific blog sites, such as the Center for Generational Kinetics. Who knew there was even a place like that? Center for Generation. We're going to put some links in our things, right? Okay. The website, keap.com and smallbiztrends.com. And Lisa will put links so that you can get to those. To generate, this is a great idea. If you want to generate a targeted mailing list of all these specific niche markets, the baby boomers, the Gen X's, Y's, Z's, etc., ProspectsPLUS has data that you can look up and focus these specific markets. So if you want to focus on one of those and target directly to those people, even narrow down, I only want to deal with homeowners or renters or what have you, you can do that.
Exactly. And as you're watching and listening right now, hopefully something resonated and hit home with you, right? Maybe it's the VA foreclosures. Maybe it's like somebody typed in expireds. Maybe it's for sale by owners. Maybe it's one of these three. Pick one. Pick something, right? You have something going on in your market that there's a lot of. Learn that, digest it, become it, and you will dominate because other people are afraid, and a lot of them lack courage. They want to sit behind a computer and wait for the walk-in traffic to come in.
Right. Or if that's your niche, then maybe that's your niche. You wait for walk-in traffic. I mean, it's probably not a good one, but it's what they say. If you're a jack of all trades, you don't master anything. So,
correct.
So be a master at something and make it successful. Focus on that like a laser, and you've got to be a success, right?
Correct. Do we have any questions you'd like us to
we actually do.
address?
We do.
We actually do. You sound surprised. Wow. All right.
I'm actually surprised that it happened so quickly, that there have been a couple hands up asking questions as you guys were speaking.
Got
I was
it.
waiting for a pause. This is good stuff.
Okay, well, here is the pause.
The first question is from Mary Ann. She states, as a 53-year-old woman, how do I sell to a millennial that I have nothing in common with?
All right, I'll start first and Jim can go. So I would say a couple things. I would say, in other words, you have your listing presentation. Your listing presentation has to be competent, confident, and natural as you're going through it. So the only thing I would change is, as you're on the phone qualifying that person, you're going to ask them a series of questions, and you're going to find out what's most important to you when you pick a realtor to work with to buy a home. So it's going to be easy because you're just going to ask a couple questions. What's the most important? You're going to find out what it is, and you're just simply going to give them what they need and then go do what you do anyway, which is sell homes. You're just going to cater a little bit to them because their needs are a little bit different than the X, the baby boomers, boom, boom, boom.
Exactly. Yeah. I might walk in and say, as you can clearly see, I meet the average definition of a real estate agent according to NAR, so clearly I'm the best person around, right? No, but just show that you are competent, capable. You're going to meet their objectives in what they want to accomplish in selling a house, and there's no reason why any other agent would be better.
Exactly. And if they're going against an agent who might be a millennial agent, maybe that's their fear. Oh, wait a minute, they're going to connect more with a millennial agent. Well, you could overcome that objection as well and beat them like a wet rag, because what's the truth? What do you have that they don't? You have closings after closings after closings, testimonials after testimonials after testimonials. Maybe they have none. Maybe they have one or two.
Exactly.
So you're going to get the best of everything. We're going to help you get the house that you want for your price, and we're going to make that happen.
And that millennial might be thinking, hey, I'm just starting out in life and I don't know much about anything. I don't want to hire somebody who's like me. I want to hire somebody who knows what they're doing.
Exactly.
So that might be a
so that's a great question for a lot of reasons. Yes.
Yeah, I have actually one other question. It looks like it's from Jim Anders, and he's asking, how do I access the data that you were talking about? I think he was referring to when you were talking about ProspectsPLUS,
right.
The data. What does he actually have to do to get to that data?
Yeah, so very easy. Just go to ProspectsPLUS.com to the website, and on that main screen there, kind of over to the left-hand side, you'll see postcards, and there's two buttons that say, one says start with a template, one says start with your mailing list. If you want to get there quick, just hit the button that says start with your mailing list, and you'll see the options there. You want to go to the demographic search. And once you do that, it's going to ask you for the area. You can do it by zip code, or you can do it by addresses around a property, or you can do it by county. And once you specify that, then you get into your demographics, whether it be age or how long they've lived in a house, or a lot of information there that you can specify to get a targeted mailing list.
Awesome. And here's what I'd like to know from everybody watching or listening. And feel free to shoot me a text. My cell is at 702-683-1967. I'd like you to text two things. One is, what is your current niche right now? Because there are some superstar agents out there that have a niche. And number two, how many closings per year are you averaging dominating that niche? In other words, that's a great thing to get a hold of as you have your other systems in place. So for those of you that shoot me that text, I will respond back. But I want you to process that. I want you to think that through. I want you to message that, because this is helping you build the winning system and help you dominate and close out this year strong.
Yeah. Don't find the phone number on bathroom walls now, right? Let's keep it professional here.
Yes.
And Todd and I didn't call each other this morning, by the way. We just happened to show up with blue shirts on. So, Lisa, you didn't get the memo.
It just happens.
Blue shirt day. So, all right, that's fine. Anything else?
Oh, nope, that's it. It looks like I don't see anyone else raising their hand right now. So,
all right.
And the other questions, they just typed in. So nobody.
Okay.
I guess they don't need a gift card.
Outstanding.
All right. Well, then we're good here. So we appreciate you watching us for Take a Listing Today podcast. Hopefully you've learned everything you need to know about niche markets. Don't forget, our podcast was conveniently sponsored by Prospects Plus. Go visit them for all of your marketing materials at ProspectsPLUS.com, and visit our own website, takealistingtoday.com, where you can sign up for our next live recording, ask your questions of the experts, and maybe win some prizes.
Thank you for tuning in. Stay strong, stay powerful, and we'll talk to you next episode.